I'm like, this is what you worked all your life to do, is to be able to go to book club and go to bingo and go to happy hour and not have to worry about, did I pay that bill? Do I hear something leaking, and who's going to fix my toilet, and, things like that. I mean, I'm living for that. That's what I work for.
Yeah, I love that. And I tell my clients all the time, didn't you work your butt off and earn the right to have people take care of you? Hey there, today we have a real exciting guest, and we're going to be discussing basically Cactus Valley retirement community. It's like a cruise ship on land. I've said that multiple times. It's beautiful. We're going to have my friend Joyce McBride in here, who is the manager along with her husband. They run that place like a tight ship. It's beautiful. Lots of friendly people. Stick around. We're going to talk about her community, her background, and why she's an excellent choice to include in your life as a place where you might want to live. Thanks a lot. So, Joyce.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. Joyce McBride from Cactus Valley over on St. Rose across from Costco, which is fantastic. I've been there multiple times. You guys probably have seen the video that I recorded on my YouTube channel and my on my website. So if you haven't, take a look at that for sure. But Joyce, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you came from, that sort of thing, and maybe the Reader's Digest version about why you serve seniors the way you do.
Sure. Well, I was originally from Savannah, Georgia, and I've been in senior living since 2010. I went out of college and got into restaurant and hotel management, and started dating a gentleman who liked me off on weekends and holidays and things. And so I started looking for something else, and it took about 2 years to find exactly what I wanted, which was senior living, because my grandmother had been going through Alzheimer's dementia, and we went to place her in a community in Ohio, knowing we would be, thousands of miles away. And when an advertisement for a job in senior living came up for a marketing coordinator, I thought about the marketing coordinator where we placed my grandmother, and she knew every resident's name, and she knew every team member's name, and it was just, I wanted that opportunity to be that for someone else. And I really got into it just because I've always done sales in some form or fashion, and I really enjoyed and missed my grandmother, and I did not realize that long term it was going to open up doors for me to do operations and to travel and to do all those wonderful things at the same time, have something as rewarding as caring for someone else's mother and grandmother.
Oh, and I gotta tell you, it's such an honor to be able to do that kind of stuff, right? I feel the same thing when I'm helping people move to either where you're at or other places, whatever it is. When I'm serving a senior, I feel like if they were my mom, how would I want them treated, right? Mm-hmm. And I've been through Cactus Valley with you, and I know you know their names because we walk through and they all coming up to you and like, give me a hug and wanting to say high five and just catch you up on their day. That's just very special. Mm-hmm. Now, you're not just a one-man band over there, are you?
No, I have my wonderful better half, my husband. We are co-managers, and we are the live-in resident managers at Cactus Valley.
Oh, and that adds a different flavor altogether, doesn't it? I mean,
100%.
How many places actually have live-in managers?
No other that I know here in Vegas. Around the country, there's some others, but even then, it's set up a little differently than how we do ours under the resorts lifestyle portfolios. But it's the first time I've done it in senior living. I've always been live off-site and come to the community, and actually really enjoy it. I thought it was going to be difficult with the blurring of professional and personal, because, a lot of times they tell you, and, especially in the corporate world, it's separate. You don't really blend, especially when you're in the people business like we are.
Right.
But our company embraces it, and all 62 of our communities have live-in managers. And it's wonderful. I feel like I'm truly a part of the community that way.
Well, and I think that would be true if you were doing mini storage,
Yes.
right? But you're
Yes.
dealing with humans
Absolutely.
who need to feel like you care about
Yes.
them and the community where they live. Well, you are going to take better care of a place you live than you are if you lived off site 20 miles away.
Absolutely. I want the food to be good because my husband and I eat it. I want the housekeepers to do well because they do our housekeeping. It's part of our salary package. And so it really does incentivize us to make sure that we are describing to a senior, to a prospect, what the day in the life of a resident is truly. Now, I always say, I eat the food here. I enjoy the housekeeping. I enjoy those amenities and the safety and security here. I just can't do happy hour because they don't allow me to drink on the job. But other than that, I get to enjoy all the other things there as well.
So fantastic. And I got to tell you, when I was there, you talk about housekeeping, the people that take care of the front of the house.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Sparkling.
It was sparkling. Like I said, cruise ship on land.
Yes.
It was like unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they take a great deal of pride in that job that they do to take care of that place. That's so awesome. And I say that stands a lot. It's reflective of the leadership, right? Because if you guys were real crapheads, they wouldn't want to do that.
No, they wouldn't.
And if they didn't like the residents, they wouldn't want to do that.
Oh, they love the residents.
Oh, I bet they do. And it's probably vice versa, right? I'm
Yes.
sure that they do. So in my world, I come across all the different phases, right? I come across certainly skilled nursing, which is somebody's probably, that's close to hospice, right? I mean, they're probably not going to survive too long and they need somebody on them 24/7 to make sure medically they're being taken care of. And then of course there's memory care, which is certainly somebody might be having extreme dementia or on their way there, or Alzheimer's, which are two different things. A lot of people don't understand that there's a difference, but there are.
Yes.
And that's a different environment altogether. And then there's of course assisted living. And this is, I think, where the line really gets blurred between assisted living and the resort independent living that you guys do. So would you mind sharing what the differences are?
Assisted living, you're going to have a true licensed community facility that has 24-hour dedicated staff members that take care of all the residents, not just one-on-one. It's all the residents. They're sharing a wing, a hall, a floor, and the resident themselves, when they go in, they get levels of care given to them based on their abilities and their limitations of what they can and cannot do. Whereas independent, especially under Cactus Valley and the resorts lifestyle communities, we kind of have that center where you can come in independently, but you can also age in place as much as you like. We will employ and bring in caregivers as needed, agencies such as hospice and palliative care and skilled nurse visits. Nobody wants to move every couple years, and
Especially as we get older.
Especially as we get older, it gets a little tougher, and we also don't want to leave our friend group behind and all the team members we know and your favorite housekeeper. And so as long as it's safe and secure, and as far as financially, able, then we will help manage and help refer that care need as possible so that you don't have to move and you don't have to find new friends and learn new staff members and do all those things. So, but we work really close with the resident and the family themselves to make sure that it's the best fit for them and make sure that they can maintain themselves safe and secure inside of our independent community.
Well, I love the fact that you said that you work with the resident and their family, so there's lots of transparency.
Yes.
I mean, we both have seen where sometimes the family is reluctant because they're concerned about the amount of money that it may or may not cost, because it's not really, I don't think, about the money as much as it is person concerned about losing their inheritance.
Right.
Which is disappointing for me.
Absolutely.
And at the same time, I'm not here to judge. Everybody's got their own thing going on. But the fact that you talk to them about their financial ability and talked about their kids and getting everybody on the same page, because ultimately, let's say a person moved in at 65, right? There's a good chance if they lived there for the rest of their life and didn't have a problem, they died in their sleep without any problems, they could possibly be there for 20 years.
Absolutely.
Right? But the key is aging in place properly. Like, everybody watching this knows that I'm a certified aging in places specialist. So what that means is I literally go into people's homes and I say, listen, if you want to stay here, these are the 20 things you can do in this home today. And there's probably another 15 we can do in a year from now that will give you another 8 to 10 years in this home, if that's what you want to do. But a lot of times people say, no, I'd rather go to a place that's already got those things done. Or, maybe I don't want to spend the money on it. Well, the great part is we can work together and help somebody find space by learning what it's like to be truly independent.
Right.
Because I love the fact that people say, I'm independent, I'm in my own home. Yeah, but you're still a slave to get the crap done around your house.
Or you don't have a car, and so you're stuck in the house.
Right, yeah. Or you're living far away from your friends group, or maybe your doctors. Because I tell people all the time, if you're going to choose a facility, choose a place close to where you're already congregating, right? Mm-hmm. So that's one aspect of it. But are you really independent if you're kind of a slave to getting the crap done around your house? Yeah, you can pay somebody, but then still you got to manage it. You go to a place like Cactus Valley that's absolutely beautiful with excellent food, make friends.
Right.
And granted, I know it's harder to make friends as we get older because I'm that guy too, right? And at the same time, I think if you have a lot of common interests, it makes it easier. So now you go there, you're truly independent because you don't have the obligations of that stuff. You got people around you taking care of all the exterior. You got people that come in and do your unit once a week. You got somebody fixing your food.
And fixing things that go broken, and then not having to worry about the roof, and not having to worry about this and that. Yes.
Yeah. And if you truly wanted to heat something up in your room, you could probably pull that off, right? But I would think when my mom was living independent, she's like, I'm not going to do that.
No. We have full kitchens, and we get promises of baked goods all the time, and I have yet to get one cake, cookie, crumb from them, but
But you know what? That's the nature of the beast, right? And that's, frankly, that's what, if I were you, and I'm sure you feel the same way, is I'd be grateful that they're not doing that stuff. I want them to enjoy it.
Right? That's what we all are working for. I mean, that's what I tell residents and prospects coming in to tour. I'm like, this is what you worked all your life to do, is to be able to go to book club and go to bingo and go to happy hour and not have to worry about, did I pay that bill? Do I hear something leaking? And who's going to fix my toilet? And, things like that. I mean, I'm living for that. That's what I work for.
Yeah, I love that. And I tell my clients all the time, didn't you work your butt off and earn the right to have people take care of you? That's what I tell to my mom all the time. I'm very blessed now. My mom lives with me, and I love having her there. And she all the time is lamenting about how you don't have the time. You're so busy. I'm like, Mom, I got all the time I need. Whatever you want, I got it for you. Well, I said, Mom, you did so many things for me. I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for her a week or two ago. She says, don't make me the sandwich. I said, Mom, how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches did you make for me when I was a kid? Least I could do is return the favor and make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Absolutely. And frankly, I think she would love living there, but she wants to live with me.
Sure.
So I want her to be happy. I want her to be feeling like it's the opportunity. I'm very blessed to be able to do it. So
absolutely.
I'm in that position.
And a lot of families aren't anymore. I mean, we've got, double income homes, and, the daughters used to take care of the mothers and the mother-in-laws and, things like that. And it's just, people are having children later in life. And so it's just harder to have those kind of families, especially here in Vegas. A lot of times the kids are spread out, 45 minutes this way, 30 minutes this way. And a lot of times we get to kind of be that middle of the road where I'm between both of my kids. So I'm not picking and choosing who I'm going to live with. I get to have my own life. And then when they, need me, or, we have something going on, then we can get together. So, but they can still keep their own life.
Yeah. And God forbid they need, a little bit more palliative care or, some medical stuff. Your community is open that if a person is known, they can come and go and visit with the resident, take care of what they need to take care of them. And again, so they can age in place as long as possible to minimize the stress. So what would keep a person from moving to you guys?
So if you were talking about memory care earlier, and I used to work and run memory cares before. So, if someone was to become a danger to themselves or others because of their cognition, so if they were becoming a wander risk, or maybe they're starting to really lose their self because now they can't socialize like they used to, being in conversations because their cognition doesn't allow them to have that. being an ethical company and being an ethical person, I'm not going to have someone suffer that really does truly need some more assistance or some more care for them appropriately, just so that we can keep another resident. It's more important in the long run to make sure that they're given the care and needs that they need to have. We can do, age in place just about for anything.
Yeah.
But if at the end of the day, it's not socially appropriate and not safe appropriate for them, then of course we're going to work with the resident and the family to make sure that they get to where they need to be and do it easy and seamlessly. I mean, we're blessed enough as a company that we don't lock our residents into long leases. They're not, there's no termination of a lease. It's just a 30-day notice. So then that way, when life changes, as it does when you get to a certain age, and, many ways, then you're not feeling like, oh, I'm going to be penalized because I can't stay longer than the 3 years I thought I was going to. We make it very simple because we understand we've been in this business for over 25 years, and we know that life happens, and we're not going to make it any more stressful than it already is.
Sure. So what would you say, just for whatever it's worth, like many times, I'll get called, somebody says, I want to do this or X, Y, Z or what have you, and many times I'll be working with a client that wants to sell their house, and they'll use that money in a bank account, investment account, or whatever to help offset whatever costs they have over and above whatever Social Security or their retirement incomes. You see that as happening a lot?
I do see that as happening a lot. And, another reason that our 30-day notice is helpful for someone who's trying to sell their home, it's not a big risk for them. So getting their things out so an agent can get their house ready, get it staged, to get it on the market, do all the things. Again, life happens for whatever reason, and sometimes they're not able to sell it like they thought they were going to or want to.
So they have the wrong agent. But
probably true. Or, they just are extremely homesick for, whatever, reason, or the kids need to move in with them now. I mean, there's just things that happen. We can take that fear away for them and give them that opportunity to at least see how the house sale is going to go, at least give an opportunity to, to see if they're going to get the money that they thought they were going to get for it. And then if they change their mind, then there's that 30-day notice. But typically what I see is when that happens, they end up staying. I mean,
sure,
their house will sell. It's just that fear that, I'm afraid that I'm not going to do it. And so we kind of help take that fear away by saying it's no obligation. You're in 30 days. All you can do is give a 30-day notice if it doesn't work out. And, typically, if they have the right agent, then 30, 60, 90 days at the most, we're looking at that. So,
well, and that's the difference between an agent who gets that and somebody who's all about themselves, right? But
yes,
that's not about me. So anyways, I think if you were to share anything with anybody now, just picture people watching this, maybe as seniors and or their adult children. What would you want them to know, not just about independent living, but more importantly about Cactus Valley resort style living that they are probably not aware of?
Sure. Well, there's a few things about Cactus Valley that, from living, across the country, as well as working in this industry for a while, one of the things that drew me to this company in particular was it really does give amenities for those who want to have that independent lifestyle, but feel cared for, feel safe, feel like someone gets them and understands what their needs are. And that's why having the live-in managers really does make a difference. I definitely feel more connected to my residents, my team, and my families by being a resident myself there. Another thing we do is the travel program, where they can visit any one of our 62 communities and live like a resident for no extra cost, which is great for those who have families everywhere. Especially, that's one thing I do notice here in Vegas that was maybe different from when I was living in Georgia, is there's families all over the country. Got a son here, a daughter here, and this allows them to spend time with their loved ones, but still have their own space not sleeping on a sofa bed, in the living room, right? Being, 70, 90 years old, living, sleeping on a sofa bed, they're able to, have the comfort of almost like their own apartment, eating in the dining room and being on vacation, which is why we are called resorts, lifestyles, communities, because it should feel like you're on a vacation for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and if you go out of town and you get close to your kids and you're 5 miles away at a community, you're like, well, I'm living in my home. I'm used to, I can have coffee and breakfast with everybody. I can make some new friends. I can participate in some of the activities if I wanted to. While my kids are busy at work, I can still do crafts or what have you, or go take an event in from out of town and still be there and not feeling like, oh my gosh, I got to pay, $300 a night for a hotel.
I feel like you're a burden because you're in your kid's home and you're entertaining. Yes, because that is one thing. And of course, we're so young that we're not in our routines yet. I say that, but every birthday I have, I seem to find myself doing the same things over and over, which I thought I never would. But that's one thing that is hard for seniors when they are out of their element is the routine is messed up. They don't have access to the things that we always do. Like you said, cup of coffee. I mean, we get to a time, and I'm at that way now where I've got to have my coffee by 8 o'clock or else the world's spinning, and so
Robert get beat to the ground.
Absolutely. And so this way, by traveling and visiting your family, you can still get up, have your cup of coffee at the same time.
Yeah.
We pretty much keep a lot of the same breakfast items across our communities. So you're not feeling like you're a duck out of water. You're, living your same life. You just happen to be in a different city at the time. So
I think that's fantastic. And I think the continuity of lifestyle is really important, especially like you said, as we get older, the routine is super important. And I know
it'll change things. I don't like things changing. Yeah.
and that's part of the reluctance of people moving too, right? Because they're so used to what they're used to. But many times people don't make those choices because of the fear of the unknown and the fear of what they're giving up, and not realizing that what they should be fearing is being alone in a place that is increasingly becoming more unsafe.
Absolutely.
And it's not that I tell my mom all the time, and I love her to death. And she's going to be 85 in September, and she's just wonderful. And she says to me all the time, I don't understand why I'm forgetful on this. I was like, Mom, you're 85.
Your brain is 85.
You're not going to remember certain things.
Sure.
Well, and then the other day she said, I'm just not so steady on my feet. I said, don't feel bad, Mom. Be grateful that we have ramps throughout the house and you got bars on the walls and you can step into the shower easily. Those things many people don't have, but you have them available. And in your space, they have that. And let me ask you this, because there are some seniors that would have a trouble stepping into a tub, even if it's small. Could that be adjusted if they needed to?
Sure.
Something more like a roll-in?
Yes, and we have apartments that are set up for that.
I knew you did this.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have apartments set up for that. Plus, we also have on-site physical therapy and occupational therapy and speech. But that's one thing. It doesn't matter if you move into my community or someone else's community. You should always take advantage of the physical therapy and occupational therapy. You're not getting billed for it. It's going to insurances and Medicare, and they can help you get used to your space. And I mean, if you were struggling at home, you're going to struggle somewhere else until you get to know, where you're going, what you're doing, and why not take advantage of those services? Those are, again, something else you worked hard to pay into. Might as well take advantage. I know it probably won't be there when I get to that age, so you might as well go ahead and take advantage.
Spend the money now.
Spend it now. Take advantage of it before it's gone. Same thing with the military. I mean, we love our veterans.
You have a great deal of reverence because you have beautiful military space.
We have our honor wall. Yes, absolutely. And if you're willing to lay down your life for our country, then you should 100% be able to enjoy the lifestyle that, we can afford you at Cactus Valley, because, I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And so we're going to treat you, like the kings and queens that you are.
And they should be, right? I mean, I tell people all the time, seniors deserve so much more than we give them. And if you're a senior who's also a veteran, that notch needs to go up a couple more just because of that, right? And so many people who are moving into your community or aging are, they're Korea and Vietnam veterans and maybe even some now are starting to be Desert Storm because that age. You know, I know I'm 60, and so there could be people that are in the 65s that could be conceivably having gone to Desert Storm.
Absolutely.
I think it's important for us to show that preference. So that's fantastic. So, again, just going back to it, is there anything else that they should know, you think?
Well, you know, there's a little bit of a hesitance for people who maybe have never visited a community before. They have in their mind maybe where they used to go visit their mom or their aunt
in the nursing
home or the old folks home, or, you know, those kind of things, which, you know, back then, you know, people weren't living as healthy as some of them now. The medical sciences were.
They did the best they could.
And they did the best they could. Absolutely. And it was definitely things like that were built more for function and not for aesthetics and for pleasure and leisure. And I think that if they can get past that hurdle and at least go visit a couple to see that it's not as scary as they think they are, and that they're actually full of life. And I mean, all you have to do is come to one of our happy hours and talk about full of life. I mean, you're going to see line dancing and hokey pokeying and everything. I mean,
you guys have that spectacular theater that you have great, I mean, Rich Little performed there,
Rich
correct?
Little, Glass Knight's brother, Bubba Knight, was here, and an original Pimp, and which I even remember as a child of the 80s with the California Grapes. You know, it was pretty exciting to, you know, meet him but being able to sit, you know, up to almost 200 people in our theater and have that space where a lot of other communities may dedicate that to making more money by building more apartments in it. Our owner and company said, no, we want to have a space where all of our residents can come together and enjoy a show, a movie, a speaker, and also invite the community in to hold church groups, Bible studies, you know, things like that. That's a benefit to our community as well as our residents. So all of our 62 communities have that spectacular theater to use as an amenity that you're not going to see most other places.
Yeah, it's got a beautiful like a cocktail lounge right next to it.
Yes.
You can buy your own booze, put it into a locker all of your own, and go down and say, I want some of mine tequila, and they'll hook you right up.
We will put a mixer in it with some ice or on the rocks, however you like it.
Yeah, wonderful. And everybody that lives down there is just so friendly and nice. So.
Yeah, that's because we have all this. We have a 24-hour ice cream machine that makes a lot of people happy.
That would make me happy on myself.
We have, and in fact, you know, one of the things that you were saying, a cruise on, you know, land, one of our amenities that we have is 24-hour dining. So our kitchen's open from 6:30 in the morning to 6:30 at night, and you can get food at any time during that those hours. But then even after the kitchen's closed and most people have kind of, you know, gone to their rooms, you can still get food because we have our snack bar that's open 24 hours a day. We have the chef's pantry that is loaded with snacks and fruits and
not just bags of chips.
Not just bags of chips. No, it's fresh fruits,
salads, nice fresh fruit,
sandwiches.
Exactly.
Yogurts and what? No one goes hungry. In fact, we have to have a very robust fitness program in order to counterbalance all of the food that is available for our residents. Just like on a cruise ship, you tend to come back a couple extra pounds because of all the buffets and, you know, open food choices, and we have to do that as well. So we have a robust exercise program for that.
That is so awesome. So, well, thank you so much for coming here today.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to continue to find ways to get people over to you guys. I mean, we're talking about a couple of different things that I'm still working on. And with all that being said, I'm real excited to have you here because I think people need to see it. So if you haven't already, go to the video that's online on the YouTube channel, or go to the video that's on my website. See that, and if you go, that really looks cool, then click the link to get more information. I'll make sure you get in touch with Joyce, and you go over there. You can schedule a tour. Who does the tours over there now?
Myself and Cheryl Brown, our sales consultant. Yes.
Yeah, Cheryl's very nice as well.
But we're covered 7 days a week. You can come in anytime. In fact, I did a tour last night at like 6 p.m. Because somebody needed to come in after work, and that was the only time they could come.
And you live there. So
and I live there. Not going anywhere. Nope.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate you. Thanks for joining me today. on the Living Well and Aging Smart podcast, the podcast for senior citizens, where it's never too late to take the next step in aging with clarity, with confidence, and in a great community. Today's episode, I trust, brought you some great insight and brought some questions that you might have further that you want to get answered. So if that's the case, it could be about housing transition or what we talked about on the podcast with our guests. And just so you know, I'm just a phone call away. You can call me up on my cell phone direct, 702-303-0040. You go to my website, seniораssistanceteam.com, or even yet, you can go click the link down below and just schedule a 15-minute Q&A with me. I'm more than willing to do that. There's no obligation. But here's what I ask. If you do like the podcast, if you do enjoy what you're hearing here, subscribe to it, send it off and share it with somebody you know think would get a benefit from it. And more importantly, if you feel like you got some things to say, include them in the comments, leave a review. Until next time, please stay safe, stay smart, live well, age smart. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Till the morning, that old music gets me going. Say, hey.